Hi, it's Cory, and today you're going to learn how to play A Whole New World from Aladdin. Alrighty, so like a lot of Disney songs, this song has a bunch of chords in it. Actually, it has 12 chords, but even though it has those 12 chords, a lot of them are pretty frequently used, so you might already be familiar with them. And if you're not, I'm going to show you how to make the different chords so you can start learning how to play them. But the good news about this is a very simplified version. Believe it or not, there are actually even more chords in the original, and I kind of stripped it down to just the bare minimal of chords that you need. And we're doing the exact same starting pattern throughout the entire song to make it a little bit more accessible as well. Now, before we jump into it, if you are at all interested in getting the lead sheet for this song, you can check it out at my Patreon, and that is in the description box below. If you're not already a member of that community, you might want to check it out, see what the different benefits there are for being a member. Also, just joining a really cool community of people that are really supportive and happy to learn and everything, and see if it's a good fit for you. And I still am so thankful to everyone who just watches these tutorials and subscribes to support the channel that way too. So without further ado, let's jump into it and make sure your ukulele's in tune. The ukulele I'm using today is this soprano Donner ukulele, and I have a review of it that if you want to check it out and see if you might be interested in it, you can find it in the cards. But if it is in tune, it should sound like this, where you have a G on the 4th string, a C on the 3rd string, an E on the 2nd string, and an A on the 1st string. So the first chord you're going to need to know is the A major chord. For this, you're going to take your first finger, place it on the 3rd string, 1st fret, take your 2nd finger then and place it on the 2nd fret, 4th string. You're also going to need to know an A7, and what's really nice about that is from the A position, you're just lifting up that 2nd finger. So the only finger you have down for A7 is that 1st finger on the 1st fret, 3rd string. You're also going to need to know a B minor chord. For that, you're taking your 1st finger, placing it on the 2nd fret, and you're going to be barring that whole fret. So what I recommend for that is take your thumb, place it on that 2nd fret behind, then take your 2nd finger, overlap it on your 1st, and take your 3rd finger and place it on the 4th string, 4th fret, and that's your B minor. You're also going to need to know the C major chord, which is your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret, 1st string. You're also going to need to know the B flat major chord. What you're doing for that is like a partial bar chord. So you're taking 1st finger, barring just on strings 1 and 2. Then you're taking your 2nd finger on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, and your 3rd finger is going on the 3rd fret, 4th string. And that's the B flat. You're also going to need to know the D major chord. For that, you're taking your 1st finger, and these are all along on the 2nd fret. That's the only fret we use for D major. You put your 1st finger on the 4th string, your 2nd finger on the 3rd string, and your 3rd finger on the 2nd string. You'll also need an E7 major. Now, what's great about this song, a lot of times I use E7 as an exchange for the E major chord because it's a pretty tricky chord, but this song actually just calls for the E7, so it's completely normally in the song. So to make that E7, you're taking your 1st finger, placing it on the 4th string, 1st fret, your 2nd finger is going to go on the 2nd fret, 3rd string, and then your 3rd finger is going on the 1st string, 2nd fret. You're also going to have an E minor. That's going to start on the 1st string, 2nd fret with your 1st finger. Your 2nd finger is going on the 2nd string, 3rd fret, and then your 3rd finger is going on the 3rd string, 4th fret. You're also going to be using an E flat. And for E flat, you're taking that 1st finger, placing on the 1st fret and the 1st string. Then you're taking your 2nd finger, placing it on the 3rd fret, 3rd string, and then your 3rd finger is going on the 3rd fret, 2nd string. You'll also have the F major chord. For that, you're taking your 1st finger, placing it on the 1st fret, 2nd string, and then your 2nd finger is going on the 2nd fret, 4th string. And then finally, the last chord in the song is going to be the G major chord. For that, you're taking your 1st finger, placing it on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, then taking your 2nd finger, placing it on the 1st string, 2nd fret, and your 3rd finger is going to go on the next fret down on number 3, but on string 2. and that's your G major. For this song, it's really important to be super solid on all the different chords you're using. There are a lot of them, and I know that can seem overwhelming, but take it really slow with the song at first. Get super firm on those different chords and then progress to the strumming pattern. For the strumming pattern, we don't have any checks. We're just going to keep it really simple with a down, down, up, up, down strumming pattern throughout the entire song. Now, something to keep in mind, the reason why I want you to be super firm and have mastery over these chords before moving to the strumming pattern is because you're going to be changing chords within the strumming pattern, and it's not going to be an even thing, so I can't tell you it's always going to happen on this particular beat. It just happens in the song at varying times, so you have to be prepared for that and try the best you can to maintain the strumming pattern. A way around this is that you could just play on the beat, and that would be totally fine as well, or you could just play on the chord changes, and I actually recommend people to do that first for this song because the chords change pretty quickly. So especially for ones that you're not as familiar with, I think it's a lot better to play the song slowly throughout on the chord changes. That way you're giving yourself plenty of time to be able to change chords and transition rather than worrying about maintaining the strumming pattern. So what that strumming pattern is going to sound like for the first line, for instance, will be like this. I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. So you can see even with that first line, I'm already switching from that G to the A, and I have to do it without changing the strumming pattern. If you end up changing the strumming pattern at some point, don't worry about it, just keep going. I'm just giving you recommendations to get you started. If you find that there's something else that you like better or sounds better to you, use that. There are plenty of examples that I've done these tutorials and I've messed up my strumming pattern and it hasn't been consistent, and sometimes I add an extra strum or drop one, and I do it based on stylistic purposes, or sometimes just because like, oh, I'm reading the words or something and I make a mistake. It doesn't matter. The only person that's going to know how you want this song to sound is you, so that's all you need to worry about. If you wanted to play it on just the beat, it would sound like this. I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. So that might be a lot more accessible to you at the moment. If you wanted to play it on just the chord changes, it would sound like this. I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. So that'd be a really good example of how you have all of that time within the I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, to get to that G major and to prep yourself for the A major as well. But again, it's all what you choose. For the playthrough, I'm going to be just doing the down, down, up, up, down strumming pattern throughout the entire song. And speaking of the playthrough, let's give it a playthrough. If any of what I explained is not making sense to you, watch the playthrough first and then go back and add the different pieces. A lot of times if you see a finished product, sometimes it's easier to understand the pieces that go into it. And one quick thing before we start, I do not have this structured in the typical duet format. If you wanted to make this a duet with someone, it'd be super, super easy. All you'd have to do is just distinguish which parts are sung by Jasmine and which parts are sung by Aladdin. And it's pretty like intuitive how that happens. And I do have some sections that you'll see in the playthrough that are parenthesed that you can see that's where like the overlapping takes place. But I'm presenting this as if you were just going to sing it as a solo. But again, it's really adaptable to be able to make into a duet like it is in the original. But let's give it a playthrough. 1, 2, here we go. I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, over, sideways, and you have it, A Whole New World from Aladdin. Now, you may have noticed at the very end, I took a little bit of like stylistic liberties. You could continue with the strumming pattern throughout the rest of the song, or you could have done like a thrilling chase and kept going, a wondrous place, and then you could stop, for you and me. Or you could do what I did at that point and have, for you and me. That would be totally fine too. I hope you found this helpful, and like I said before, if you're interested in the lead sheets for this like simplified version, or pretty much as beginner friendly as I think it gets, make sure to check out my Patreon. I have all my lead sheets there. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you aren't already, make sure you subscribe to this channel. That way you always know when a new tutorial or video comes out, and I post on Wednesdays and Sundays. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.